I'm very excited for Cannes. It's always a time where we have an industry leaders come together and discuss important topics that really do shape the future of where the industry is going. And what I really like about it is that it's on a global scale, because the issues and challenges that we face are certainly global. And to your point on connections, that's what it's all about. And that's what FreeWheel is focused on delivering. It's a goal of focusing on how do we connect the multi-platform viewing experience that exists today. It's focusing on how do we connect buyers and sellers to make it so much easier to transact. And it's certainly about the connections between the ecosystem. There's a lot of technology that goes into supporting those two things, and we need to make sure that we help support the ecosystem more broadly in enabling that.
Mark, so what are some of the opportunities and challenges around multi-platform viewing?
Sure. The challenge of what we used to think about from a distribution, where can consumers consume content? Just start with that. Because at the end of the day, the programmers and distributors and the brands and agencies are looking to connect with people. And now that there is a new place, many new places, I should say, where consumers can consume that content, that TV quality content, it's very complex, certainly for a buyer, where we used to deal with a handful of endpoints. Certainly in the linear space, it's a very few endpoints. And now that content, that same program is being consumed in 300 plus different endpoints. And for a programmer, how do I make sure that I preserve a great experience for that consumer? For a buyer, how do I know I'm reaching that consumer? And so for us, the multi-platform challenge is something that is not trivial, does take an ecosystem in order to solve, but we are very much focused on helping our programmer partners work with their agencies, work with their advertisers in order to make that happen. We are in a global footprint. We operate across the globe, certainly in the key TV markets, TV and video and advertising markets. The biggest opportunity I think we have from a global perspective is, one, how do we solve problems and learn from one another much faster? Every market is in a different phase of their evolution, and so taking the best practices to help that compress time is something that I think the ecosystem, the industry will benefit from. From a brand perspective, it starts to look at it through a global reach mechanism. How do I start to globalize the way in which I allocate budgets, reach consumers, and measure the impact that it has? And so I think there is an opportunity to have a much more global purview from a brand and an agency perspective on how are they making their media investments. From a programmer and a distribution standpoint, certainly the OEMs, the fast channel growth is also a global opportunity. And so the barriers to a specific geo footprint have started to kind of erode. They're blurred. And so now you have really a tremendous opportunity for growth for many companies in other markets. So they can take their content and start to have it being consumed around the globe. And so that's what's really exciting about it for our programming partners, for the advertisers and agencies. And then for us, serving that global need is critical. Because when you have a platform that has to be unified in the way in which they look at how they manage and monetize their ad experiences, from a FreeWheel perspective, we have to do that not just within a handful of footprints, but rather everywhere our clients are going.
A big topic that we hear about that we cover are fast channels. Where is that going, and what's FreeWheel's role there?
In one of our reports, we recently talked about just the tremendous growth we've seen. And right now, I believe 29% of the premium TV video impressions, largely in the streaming world, are being done via a fast execution. And so certainly it's a huge area of opportunity as we think about subscription fatigue, as we think about how consumers want to get their content, as we think about the experiences. When I turn on my OEM, my TV, and I have an instant experience that I'm consuming via these fast distribution channels, it's a huge opportunity. I think the US is a little further ahead than some other markets around the globe, and so I think that trend will certainly continue to take place, but it's really a few different factors. Programmers are looking to distribute their content in an easier way, and the cost to do that continues to go down to distribute their great content. Consumers, it's a no-brainer. There's a lot of subscriptions out there, and so this move to an AVOD type of way of consuming content is certainly enticing. And then last is it's TV, it's premium and it's an engaged consumer. And so brands and agencies are looking to make sure that they reach those consumers via that channel. And so I think it really is opening up a lot of opportunity for how people buy, how people sell, but also how programmers curate the content that they have.
Mark, it'll be great to see you in Cannes, and I know you guys have a fantastic location there this year. What's the focus of the Freewheel activations in Cannes?
So we have a few different things, but it's really anchored on experiences, consumer experiences, ad experiences, and partnership experiences. And so we'll have a lot of content throughout the days, focused on all of those things. And I'm excited about that. But going back to that concept of connections, I think the most important piece of the equation is how we interact with one another. That's my favorite part, walking down the Croisette and seeing, friends that I have not seen in many, many years, meeting new people through some of the engagements and work. And by the way, it's not bad working in an environment with a backdrop that is Cannes. So I'm excited for the June time to come soon.